All right, team. So throughout this unit so far, we've been learning what is argumentation, what is persuasion, what makes an effective argument, and how to do so, and what's the difference between argumentation and persuasion. So these three terms, logos, ethos, pathos, fall into your argumentative toolbox, meaning they are three appeals you can use or rhetorical devices you can use to convince your audience of your argument. And we're going to go over those really quick. You probably do them naturally, you just don't even know it. So they're appeals to the audience, logos, ethos, pathos, and they're identifiable in almost all arguments. You'll be able to really easily identify them and pull them out. Logos kind of goes with logic. It's your reasoning that the author uses. It's logical evidence. Okay, so those are your facts, all of that good stuff. We're going to go through some types of appeals here. So theories, scientific facts, literal or historical analogies, definitions, factual data and statistics, quotations, citations from experts and authorities, informed opinions, examples from real life, and personal anecdotes such as short stories. Okay. You probably do these all the time. For instance, you want to convince your parents that you should be allowed to get a nicer cell phone. Okay, what are your reasons? Well, everyone else has one. I can use it in my classroom. See, my teacher uses Google Docs. It'll work out well. Those are logical appeals. You can see that there are facts, statistics behind it, and they're informed opinions, mostly personal anecdotes there. Effect on the audience, cognitive or rational response. Readers feel like, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. Or, that doesn't prove anything. That's not a good reasoning, which is probably the answer your parents just gave you for that last response. Then you have your ethos. So this is character or ethics. E for ethos, ethics. How an author builds credibility and trustworthiness. So this is like your character development. So ways to develop ethos: author's profession / background, author's publication. They appear sincere, fair-minded, knowledgeable. They're trustworthy. Conceding to opposition when appropriate, morally and ethically likable, appropriate language for the audience, appropriate vocabulary, correct grammar, and professional format. So the effect on the audience here is the reader sees the author as reliable, trustworthy, competent, and credible. Reader might respect the author or his views. A lot of the times, these are your police officers, your teachers. They're good people, they're trustworthy. You have no reason not to trust them, right? Then we have our last one, which is pathos. Sorry, skipped ahead. That's your emotional appeal. So these are words or passages an author uses to activate emotions. Gives you the feels. Think of that Sarah McLachlan commercial, ASPCA. You know what I'm talking about. Types of pathos appeals: emotionally loaded language, vivid descriptions, emotional examples, anecdotes, testimonies, narratives about emotional experiences or events, figurative language, emotional tone, so humor, sarcasm, disappointment, excitement. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should watch the other video because there's an example of an emotional appeal for an advertisement there. Okay? So the effect on the audience is it evokes an emotional response. You feel bad for them. You feel good for them. Those kind of things. Persuasion by emotion, usually fear, sympathy, empathy, anger. You've probably also been seeing this a lot with the presidential debates recently. So if you strike fear in people, they're more likely to respond to you in a good way or a bad way, depending on your beliefs. So, anywho, those are your appeals. Put those in your toolbox and use them for persuading people. That's all I have for you. Watch the other video. It has some examples and some practice for you. Have a good one.